The relationship between globalization, the worsening ethnic tension and war in Africa is probably one of the crucial tasks facing African scholars of today. Experts have predicted that globalization will lead to the collapse of the nation-state and neutralize the negative divisive tendencies of the ethnic phenomenon. In fact, it was envisaged that particularistic tendencies, divisiveness and exclusiveness will give way to integration, openness and global interaction. The ethnic phenomenon rather than disappear as we emerge with more vigor and vitality. Our central thesis is that the resurgence of ethnic nationalism in Africa is a reaction to the process of globalization, which has absorbed the power of national government and generated unimaginable poverty for the urban youth. Ethnic tension is therefore a coping strategy for the unemployed youth who are desperate to survive. The above argument will become clearer if it is realized that Africa is the worst victim of globalization. It has clearly demonstrated that Africa is increasingly being marginalized in the context of globalization. Study reveals that growth dynamics slowed down since emergence of globalization process. For instance, annual growth rate fell from an average 5% in 1996 to 3.7 in 1997. Thus, after recovery in 1996, growth rate fell to a lean level of early years of the decade. More importantly, between 1990 and 1995, half of African countries like Angola, Sierra Leone, Somalia, and Democratic Republic of Congo, the situation is worse because ethnic war and political instability affected strongly industrial activities. Industrial activities on the continent suffer much from the liberalization of imports and competition with manufactured products from developing countries, which have higher productivity. Cheap finished products, often of better quality from newly industrialized export-oriented countries, have taken over the continent's huge market, rendering local producers mere spectators in global world that requires competitiveness to survive. Goods ranging from detergents, toilet soap, food drinks, garments, footwear to every plant and machinery are now being imported by those local firms that are supposed to be manufacturing locally. In Nigeria, for instance, you can hardly find anybody drinking locally brewed beer. Everybody now goes for Star, which is being brewed by multinational companies. In the area of soft drink, Coke, Fanta, and Sprite have systematically eliminated locally manufactured one. To worsen the situation, the prices of these products are increasingly getting beyond the reach of average Nigerian. Incidentally, the collapse of the local manufacturing firms have been followed by increase in mining and energy exploitation. This new trend raised Africa's share in iron ore in international trade. The share of iron ore and minerals in African export rose from 6% to 13.5% between 1918 and 1995. In fact, investment mining increased from $418 million in 1996 to $662 million in 1997. Today, there are more than estimated 200 international mining companies operating in Africa. Apart from the mining sector, Africa has recorded increased activities in the energy sector. In the oil sector, for example, exploration and development activities increased, leading to the discovery of two new oil deposits in 1996. Increasing investment resulted in a sharp increase in oil production on the continent. The significant upward trend in mining and oil activities on the continent led to the emergence of extraterritorial conflict in a great number of African countries. Some African countries become the guarantor and protector of these companies' interests. It is important to mention here that the Shell Oil Company currently concentrates about 12% of its world production in Nigeria, and this assures the government of 70% of its earnings. This explains why the federal government, for example, headed by Obasanjo, used the country's armed forces to defend the interests of the company in the Niger Delta area of the country. In the whole process, a whole village was razed down, and about 1,000 youth were either killed, maimed, or harassed. Apart from the virtual collapse of the continent manufacturing industries and the domination of the mining and energy sector, the imposition of the Structural Adjustment Program was the final blow that brought the continent to its knees. A recent study has revealed that Africa is the region with the highest number of social adjustment programs, implemented since the early 80s. In fact, 35 sub-Saharan African countries implemented 162 World Bank IMF adjusted programs since 1981. On the same period, only 126 SAP was implemented in the rest of the world, that is Structural Adjustment Program. More importantly, state disengagement and economic liberalization as recommended by the SAP resulted in the emergence in most African countries ethnic-oriented political financial mafia group, each trying to control the economy, impose conditions on the activities of multinational corporations, and extort money from both the government and multinational corporations as a form of reparation for their unemployment and their woes. Thus, in Rwanda, Burundi, Angola, Mozambique, Congo Brazzaville, Liberia, and Nigeria, most ethnic groups are busy organizing, training, equipping, and deploying their own ethnic militia as a strategy for survival. In Nigeria, for instance, the main three ethnic groups have quietly developed and supported their own militias. In the north, there exists the APC Ariwa People's Congress. In the west, we have the OPC Odua People's Congress, and in the east, there existed the Bakassi Boys. These ethnic militias are highly trained and sophisticated, and only God knows what will happen in the year 2000, in the next few years, when the new presidential election will be organized. The true position of is that the emergence of these ethnic organizations and the resultant ethnic tensions and wars in Africa cannot be explained outside the context of globalization. The activities of this group have made Africa a replica of Thomas Hobbes' state of nature, where life is brutish, nasty, and short. The anarchic situation has made foreign investment unsafe, greatly reduced the capacity of African states to participate in the process of globalization, and raise questions about the value of globalization in Africa. In spite of the above analysis, national and international press has continued to report the recent upsurge in ethnic nationalism, confrontation, and wars in Africa as if they were new. In summary, globalization and the associated mass poverty and suffering among urban youth have forced them to form radical organizations which currently champion most of the ethnic wars and harassment of multinational companies operating in their domain as a strategy for survival. If you have not subscribed to my channel, it is actually called David Onuwis. Go to that place now and actually subscribe to my channel. For our returning subscribers and to our returning viewers, we say a very, very big thank you to you. So click on that notification button and also follow my page or subscribe to my page. To meet next time, thank you so much. To our returning viewers, we say a very big thank you to every one of you. Till meet next time, we'll bring up a new topic for you. Very interesting, very fabulous, very unique.